Hey guys, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. My name's Steve, and tonight we're going to talk about when FUT is the better hair transplant surgery. Now, we've already done when FUE is the better hair transplant surgery. There's 5 reasons why. Tonight there's going to be 5 reasons for FUT. And I said in the last video that it always seems like I'm promoting FUT more, like I'm more in favor of FUT. I'm a bigger fan of FUT. I'm not. It's 2 different applications, 2 different ways to do the procedure. I give you the facts. However, with that being said, scientifically, if I were teaching a class, a graduate class on hair transplant 101, hair transplant surgery 101, FUT would always be the choice. Why? In the center core in the back of your head, right over the occipital bone, from ear to ear, about 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches, you have the very best hair. So what FUT does is it harvests that hair. That is the strongest hair in your head. When you choose FUE, the object of FUE, if you have very little hair loss, is to spread out the scarring. There's still going to be scars. They're going to be tiny little dots, and we want to spread them out. So we're going to shave your head over the ears and all through the back and sides and down, and as high as we can get it, still in the donor zone, so that all that hair will stay and never fall out. So we're going to spread out that scarring. But that's not all the very best hair in your head. There's some good hair, some not so good hair, some weak hair, some strong hair. I want the very best hair on my head because I want that rock solid hairline. There's no question that's FUT. So let's get to the point. 5 reasons why FUT would be the better choice. Well, you got a lot of hair loss. I won't get into it. We'll go into other videos with this, but a Norwood 5, a Norwood 6, and a Norwood 7, you're not a candidate for FUE. I will get comments, I will get emails. Hey, I'm a Norwood 6 and I got FUE. Listen, this is something that I want to send out to everybody so that they get some sort of a standard, so they can see kind of like how the balance works. If you have a lot of hair loss, you need to replace 50, 60,000 hairs in your head. FUT, or a few procedures of FUT, is the better way to go. We can always do FUE to fill in spots that we can't get with those FUT procedures. So my standard, and I've been doing this a long time, helping everybody out there watching these videos on different platforms, is Norwood 5, Norwood 6, Norwood 7, right out of the box, get-go, you're going after FUT. If you have really thin, fine, weak hair, this is number 2. You really shouldn't be pursuing FUE if your hair is poor. There's a lot of trauma that's put on the grafts when we pull them out. When we drill in and pull out these grafts of FUE, it's just that they're not going to survive, or at least the majority of them won't. There's an argument that if you have a little bit of hair loss and you have thin, fine hair and you're on the medication, but for the most part, like I said, setting the standard, if you have really thin, weak, fine hair, probably not a good idea to do FUE, and talk to your chosen doctor and specialist about that. Number 3, if you're young, like really young, under 25, and you're afraid of finasteride, and you just don't know that you'll be able to stay on it, you just can't get over the fact that buddy of yours at the gym said he had a side effect, you're really young, we don't really know where you're going, and you want a hair transplant, then I would not go down that path of FUE. Now, this is kind of the catch-22 situation, because a young guy who could get a lot of hair loss and give up on finasteride anyway could have an issue with a scar on the back of his head later in life. I don't, and I had it done at age 19, but I'm not everybody. So we have to be very careful. But again, for those that are asking the question, am I a candidate for FUE? Am I a better candidate for FUT? If you're afraid of the medication and you're very young and you're a male patient, FUT is the better way to go. The number 4 is people or patients that are not afraid of having a linear scar on the back of their head. This is where I get a little anxious, I get a little aggravated. I don't like to show that I'm frustrated. I'm trying to help you. I'm being very positive. But there's so much nonsense online about horrible scarring from FUT procedures. It makes me want to throw up. It's just not a fact. You got to find yourself a good surgeon. Now, yes, everybody heals differently, but you're not going to have much scarring. The scarring's going to show if you cut your hair too short. You can't cut your hair that short if you have an FUT procedure. Now, I'm not going to show you this generational age difference of myself and a lot of you watching out there, but in the old days, that's what they said, old days, we didn't care about any scars in the back of our head. We just grew our hair longer. We wanted hair that made us look younger and framed our face. So you have to be reasonable that when you're getting an FUT procedure, although you find a really good surgeon, you're not going to have much scarring. If you shave your head too low, you're going to see that scar. So you have to know that going into it. Number 5, if you have a horrible family history of hair loss, if your dad's Norwood 5 or 6, if your uncles are Norwood 5 and 6s, if your grandfather on both sides is Norwood 5 or 6s or 7s, it doesn't look good for you looking past 30. So we need to plan. We talk about here at Defeating Hair Loss how we have a plan for you and we can help you. Well, this is all part of that. You're not going to sit here and tell me, hey, just about everybody in my family's bald, and I'm really excited about doing my FUE procedure. Well, we need to look at all those different criteria, all the different components. We want to make sure if you're 25 years old or you're 28 years old, at 32 or 33, you're not coming back and visiting our channel and saying, hey man, really bad advice. You know, I did this FUE procedure and now I don't really have enough hair. And now I really don't have enough hair to go back and do more areas because I didn't realize how bald I was going to be. And yes, I'm using the medicine as well. So these are the 5 reasons, or at least the beginning of a few of our videos. These are the top 5 of why FUT would be the better procedure for you. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.